we're gonna make homemade pizza, and I'm gonna make it from just store-cupboard ingredients. It's an easy recipe, and you can knock it out in about 15 minutes, so it's super quick. So let's make a beautiful deep pan pizza from scratch that is so simple and so delicious, you're gonna have a go at home, I can promise you. So, pan on, medium-high heat. First of all, we're gonna start with sausage. I've got 2 lovely Cumberland sausages. Use whatever sausages you've got. Of course, the better the quality, the better the flavor. I'll go into the pan with just a little bit of olive oil or sunflower oil or whatever you've got, and then I'll get the sausage, grasp it, and then squeeze the meat from inside out. So you're basically gonna get these beautiful little mini sort of meatballs. So I'm just gonna have a little hand wash with some of these sausages. All right, we can break one up so you get like almost little mince-meaty bits. I wanna leave a couple sort of in nice big chunks, but rough and ready, we like that. You can see it kind of getting some color on it. Now, at this point in the story, what I can do is add some store-cupboard herbs, you know, so like mixed herbs or some oregano, whatever you've got. Just put that in the fat and it will start sizzling away. So next up, 2 onions. So just half and peel your onions and finely slice. So in we go with the onions and they will start sucking up all that beautiful flavor already. Oh, it smells amazing already. Come on. When these onions start to soften, I want to add a little something else to it, and that is some jalapeno. So I've got it in the jar, and what I'm going to do is just pour some of that vinegar in to give it a nice little kind of sweet and sour vibe, and a little spice. So that's going to add to the flavor, and then we'll put jalapenos in there as well. So that's on a medium heat now, and as that just continues to cook and get even better and better, let me show you how to make this beautiful pizza base. It is so simple. And this is bigging up another store-cupboard ingredient, self-raising flour, 500 grams, okay? So get yourself a bowl. If you've got a kilo bag, half of it, give or take. We're gonna put in 250 milliliters of water, or basically enough water until it comes together as a dough. Very simple, and a good pinch of salt. 3 ingredients. Just bring together that dough, and you want to create a nice elastic dough. That looks pretty good. A little bit more. So can you see how, look at that. In literally 1 minute, we've created quite a moist, sort of elastic dough. Outrageously quick. So there you go. That is your dough. And then here is your topping. That goes on my board, because I only want to wash one thing up. Yes, it's not just convenience and deliciousness. Also, I don't want to wash up much. So I'm going to take this dough, carefully, without touching the hot pan, of course, push this pizza in the pan out, just like that. So you can see how springy this dough is. And actually, the heat is still on a medium heat, right? I'm cooking this dough now, okay? So this is part of the cheat. And then I'm going to come along and I'm going to put the topping back on top and push the topping all over the place, right to the edges. Now, normally there'd be like mozzarella over the top. Well, if you haven't got that, what have we got? We've got cheddar. So we'll have cheddar, we'll take that. We want to be flexible now, right? So whatever you've got, you can get it in there. And I quite like kind of getting little bombs of it, small bits, chunks of it. You can get a grater if you want and put a little dusting over the top. It doesn't matter. This will be a beautiful thing. A few more bits of jalapeno just to kind of, you know, make a point. So I'm going to turn the heat up to about medium-high now, and then I'll cook it for about 3 to 5 minutes until there's a little crust starting to form, which is about now. Let's put that in the oven at full whack for about 10 to 30 minutes until it's crisp, golden and sizzling. So this has had about 10 minutes. Oh, come on. Look at that, sizzling away. Such a great little cheat. Get your spatula in there, take it off. Look at that. So good. Absolutely lovely. Ah, yes. Brilliant. Crispy base, fluffy inside. So good. Hey guys, hope you're well. We're gonna make the most delicious mushroom pasta with garlic, spinach, mushrooms, a rich sauce. We've got a crunchy thyme and garlic breadcrumb topping. It's just joy, joy, joy. Let's get cooking. Put the pan on a medium-high heat and a pot of boiling water. First job, garlic breadcrumbs. Finely slice 2 cloves of garlic. This is my wife's favorite bit. So what she loves and what I love about this is the crunch of the breadcrumbs with the soft, delicate pasta. It's a really beautiful combo. We're gonna go in here with some olive oil. Go in with the garlic, get that sizzling. The next ingredient, thyme. Fresh thyme is joyful. A few nice little stalks. Just pull the lovely little leaves off the stalk. They normally pop and spit a little bit, but the flavor from thyme is amazing, especially with mushrooms. Listen to that. And then in with the breadcrumbs, and we can turn that temperature right down. Just toast off these breadcrumbs. And this will make the most amazing little sprinkle for any pasta, any ravioli, even soups. Gorgeous on salads. So once it's gorgeous and crispy, put it in our little bowl, and this people will fight over. Pan back on the heat. I've got 2 packs of mushrooms, but you really could use oysters, button mushrooms, anything you like. So 4 cloves of garlic and mushrooms, classic flavor. Back in the pan, we're gonna go in with some olive oil, in with the garlic, that will perfume the oil. Then I'll take the other half of that thyme and pick in the lovely leaves there. Nice generous pinch of black pepper as well. We'll go in with the mushrooms. Now that looks like a lot of mushrooms, but if you give that about 10 minutes of cooking, stirring nice and regularly, that is gonna half in size, it's gonna intensify and double in flavor, and that's gonna be amazing. So we'll let that cook out, then I'll show you what to do next. So if you look at the mushrooms now, the water's starting to cook away, and it will go now from boiling to frying. Can you hear it? And you can see it's dried up. It smells amazing. Right, let's have a little taste. Amazing. So normally at this stage, I put in a little cream or creme fraiche, and that's definitely very traditional, but I got told about a little tip that is just naughty, and it's basically a tin of mushroom soup. And it basically means you get double mushroom flavor. So put all of it in, nice little tin of quality mushroom soup. Fill this tin up with a little bit of water, and then like half a tin, a whole tin, depending on how thick the soup is. Just put that in there and let that simmer away. You get this silky old school sauce. You've got extra seasoning in there. You're down on the saturated fats and up on the veg. So it's a nice little trick. Mix that up, let that simmer. The water here is now boiling. We'll just put a little salt in there. And we're gonna go in with 300 grams of your chosen pasta. Look, you could use whatever you like. I'm going in with tagliatelle. Lid on until the water comes up to the boil again. The pasta sauce is already looking good. So we've got an ingredient to go in there, spinach. I'm using the frozen spinach because it's super convenient. You get that really nice kind of dense, dark spinach. Nutrition through the roof. I'm just gonna put 2 little cubes like that in. That's about 100 grams. And that will just defrost and cook into it. Those pops of green, amazing. What I like to do now, you don't have to do this. Some people take pasta and put it in a colander. The water goes down the drain, and it's the water that helps the sauce be silky. What I like to do is use some little tongs and drag the pasta and some of that water along with it. Now, what's nice about that is we're just gonna get the most incredible textures. And then a little bit of Parmesan. So you just need a little bit for seasoning, and having fresh Parmesan makes all the difference. Just toss it like this. Can you see how elegant this is? The smell is incredible. And that's the beauty of cooking, right? You can take the cheapest mushrooms and make them joyful. Oh, look at that, look at the way it comes out. Silky, that little hack with the tinned soup is naughty, but nice. With a little of those breadcrumbs on the top. Come on. A long stroke of Parmesan. And then let's portion up a little bit. I mean, look at that. How elegant is that? Come on, that's a dish right there. Look at that. Right, let's try some. Oh. My missus doesn't like mushrooms, but I put it in quite a lot of the cooking that she says she loves. So don't be a hater, be a lover, or just put it in and don't tell them. Oh, that is bonkers. Enjoy. Right, we're gonna make a super quick Cheats homemade pizza. It's not supposed to be the best artisan pizza in the world, but it is delicious and gorgeous. We can start it and cook it in under 10 minutes, so let's get on with it. And I've got 2 helpers here that are flicking me. And this could be a nightmare, guys. This could be a nightmare, but this is Petal, my 3rd daughter, and this is Buddy, my 4th daughter, who, she's lovely.
I'm not a daughter and a boy.
Sorry, I forgot. First up, we're gonna have 1.5 cups of self-raising flour.
I'm doing it.
Try not to have an argument. I did ask her to roll her sleeves up. Apparently that's not very fashion forward. It doesn't matter if your mug is bigger or smaller, it's all relative. Then we put half a mug of water. A pinch of salt. And I just want a tablespoon of oil, Petal. So wazz it up. 30 seconds, 1 minute. And as soon as it starts to clean the bowl, that's good. Not too much flour. Right. So look, here's our dough. And you want it to be sort of stretchy and elastic like this, which is nice. So I'm just going to divide this into 2. What I want them to do is roll out their base into a kind of circle. I've got a non-stick large pan, okay? It's cold. So I put that on a high heat. I'm going to turn on the grill. Every now and again, you can make a big batch of hidden veg tomato sauce, and it's great on pizza. It means you're getting lots of the good stuff in them. Click the link, and Kerry Ann is going to smash out the recipe, and you will love it. Buds, I'm going to take yours. Now I can just drop this into the pan. We're going to put the tomato sauce, 7 veg, on the pizza base. I'm just going to back spoon that. Buds, what do you want on your pizza, dude? Mozzarella? You like mozzarella?
I want some salami.
Okay. Now, one of the things about pizza is restraint. Don't overload it. Do you want some Parmesan?
And I want some of this.
What's that?
And Petal's finished. I want this.
Quite nice letting the Parmesan
Dad?
go around the edge.
Dad, I want this.
What's that, mate?
This, I don't know what it's called.
Oh, prosciutto. There's me talking about restraint. He's making me. Okay.
I want it everywhere.
Okay. Well, I'm trying to tell people about restraint, buddy, and you say you want it everywhere. Basil, oregano.
Basil and oregano.
Oh, fair enough. Amazing flavour. Really, really nice. And that'll go straight now under the grill. All right. 2 more minutes. Done. Petal, this is a slightly thicker pizza. Okay. We're going to go into the pan. These little finger marks in here are going to trap the sauce. So go a little bit more generous on the sauce.
Dad, I need a toilet.
Oh, God. Okay. That boy is the death of me. He will go to the toilet anywhere. Anywhere. There's not a place. If I introduced him to the Queen, he'd go, just a minute, ma'am. And he'd just take a slash anywhere. Anywhere. There's nowhere he hasn't been to the toilet. Dude, that is my life right there. He just sprinkle where he wants to. And also, he thinks, etiquette would say that I cut that out. I'm leaving that in for all the parents out there, because you parents are all going, yeah, I've got one of those too. You all right, mate? Wash your hands. Anyway, so Buddies will now come out. It's taken no time at all. It looks gorgeous. It's crispy skinned, straight on to the board. And then this next one here, this goes straight under. They love balsamic. You can put some fresh basil over the top. Of course, the purist pizza makers are going to take this apart.
Purist.
But when you've got kids, you got to feed them. And you want to give them stuff that they want. And of course, pizza's a treat. But actually, if you trade up from white flour to whole grain flour, you're getting closer to a really healthy pizza. If you do a 7 veg tomato sauce, you're getting towards a healthy pizza. If you restrain the cheese, you're getting a really lovely thing. Who wants some pizza?
Me.
Gorgeous.
Me.
You made it. You know what went into it.
You made it.
Okay, you made it. You made it. Let it cool down.
Ooh la la.
I've got a bigger one than mine.
This one is undeniable. This is my 15-minute tuna pasta. It's so good, so quick, you're gonna love it. So look, the recipes are celebrating loads of the good stuff, right? Beautiful cherry tomatoes, look at that. We've got the red peppers, we've got chili, we've got garlic, we're gonna use cucumber and basil. It's gonna be so fresh and so good. So first up, let's get the pasta in. So in a pan of boiling water, 300 grams of the seashells. What I love about them, of course, is their little cups. And you can fill them up with beautiful things. So this sauce is just gonna sit in there beautifully. So the pasta is cooking away. That'll take about 10, 12 minutes, and this sauce will be even quicker. So we've got here some nice cherry tomatoes. Look at these, on the vine, they're always really tasty. So I want 400 grams of tomatoes. So I'll just save these back, and then I'll just click these off the vine. What else goes into it? Cucumber. So I'm just gonna take half a cucumber, have a little peel. So cucumber goes in. Then I'm gonna use half a clove of garlic. Then basil, a nice little bunch of basil. I wanna do two things. I wanna pick, first of all, the little pretty leaves for garnish for later, and then the big leaves can go down here. So big leaves, small leaves. Right, the big leaves go straight into here, like that. You can push it in. And then we've got a pepper here. Peppers or capsicums, they're absolutely delicious. So I'm just gonna peel off that kind of chunky side and just tear the peppers into here, like that. If you want to use a chili, then like half a chili for a little bit of heat, delicious. And then one last bit of flavor, one little kiss of sunshine, sun-dried tomatoes, right? Now look, you can get these everywhere. Search yourself out a little jar. You want 5 or 6 little sun-dried tomatoes there. And what I'm gonna do is just pop that in there. You're gonna get an amazing flavor from that. Really, really good. And then I'm gonna give it a swig of lovely vinegar. Red or white wine vinegar, or sherry if you've got it. Lid goes on, and then you just whiz it up. So easy. So a little bit noisy, but it's gonna be pretty tasty. Giving it a little waz till it's nice and smooth, gives you this texture, like this. And then, actually, not olive oil. Let's use some of this sun-dried tomato oil. Just a little kiss like that. Beautiful. So look, that's all you have to do. The pasta is now done. It's quite good to undercook your pasta when you're making it for salads, right? Because you don't want really soft, fluffy pasta. You want it to sort of hold its shape. Back into the pan. And then if you come and have a look at this, whilst the pasta is nice and hot, right? That's the perfect time to flavor it. And this is just full of goodness. Absolute gorgeousness. So in we go with that amazing, uncooked, summery, gorgeous sauce. So all of that goes in, and then just stir it through. Now the nice thing about this is that the residual heat of the pasta has now heated the sauce up, right? So you can serve this hot now, beautiful for spring, summertime, or let it cool down and the flavor will get better and better, and serve it as a cold salad pasta. Delicious. So let me show you how to finish it. So get it into your Tupperware or a nice bowl like this. So just pour the pasta in like that. That pasta will absorb most of that sauce, I'm telling you. I've got some feta cheese, some tuna. So even though it's an Italian pasta, of course, the inspiration did come from that brilliant Spanish soup, gazpacho. So I've got a little feta, beautiful for color, beautiful for seasoning, really fresh. I've got a nice little tin here of tuna. And again, we can take this tuna and we can just flake it over the top. Then what I want to do now is just dress this lovely pasta salad. This already tastes amazing, but I just want to sort of give it a flourish. So I've sliced little quarters of my tomatoes. I'll take a nice little chunk of feta cheese, which again is so fresh and salty and it looks beautiful. So I'll get that ready. I'll take the tuna and just kind of spoon over nice little chunks of it in and around the pasta, like that. Then over the top with some cherry tomatoes, some basil, and we'll take that feta and sprinkle it from a height. Maybe a final little kiss of olive oil. Just brilliant. Right, let's have a taste. Let's get a bit of everything. A bit of basil. What I love about that is kind of an old-fashioned flavour. Tuna, tomatoes, pasta. Really, really nice little dish. This is an incredible Cheats veggie folded pizza. So good, so much fun to make. So look, bowl, and we've got 300 grams of self-raising flour. It's already got that raising agent in there, but it doesn't need to prove. So we've got 160 millilitres of water, cold water, very important, and then a nice pinch of salt. Get a fork and just mix it up. And then as you bring the flour in, it will get thicker and thicker and more awkward. When it's too awkward to use the fork anymore, then we're gonna use our clean hands. So just move that dough around for like a couple of minutes. It's super easy. And once it's cleaned the side of the bowl, we're good to go. So we'll let that rest for a little bit. Now let's get on with the filling. So we're gonna start off with peppers. Put your thumb where the stalk is, tear it open, take out the seeds and the white bits, roughly slice those up. So look, get yourself a pan on, a medium heat, tablespoon of olive oil. I'm gonna use 2 cloves of garlic to give it that nice flavour. If, and only if you want to, chilli. Don't have to. I use a little bit, even with the kids. I'm training them. A little bit of background heat is quite nice. Into a pan, smells amazing already. So look, basil, pick the leaves off for later in the sauce, which I can put to one side, but then the stalks, don't throw them away. There's plenty of flavour. We can just slice up and we can get that in there as well. So in we go. We want to get ourselves a nice onion. I've used a red onion, which I love. Just going to peel it and then just slice it up. That can go into the garlic. And we just want to soften that up for a little second. Oh, my eyes are starting to water a little bit, but that's all good. In with the peppers, and we're going to season with pepper, very emotionally. So one of the great guides to helping you be healthy is colour. Colour is a signal of maximum nutrition, vitamins. It's a really beautiful thing, and look at the colours of that. I now want to cook this down for about 10 minutes to really kind of concentrate those flavours that are going to make you go, oh, that's so tasty. So whilst that's doing that, let's get on with the pizza bases. So this Cheats dough, roll it out into a little bit of a sausage, so it's roughly an even size. Cut it in the middle, and then cut each half into 2. Use your hand to make a little ball. There you go. Ball 1, ball 2. Push down, move around, and you get your little ball. So every now and again, come back, give it a nice little stir. So just get a little bit of the flour, use a clean surface. On we go, and just kind of roll it back and forth away from you. Turn the dough. I'm gonna try and go nice and thin, and about 7 to 8 inches in diameter. We'll let those relax a little bit again. And back in the pan, you can see it's shrunk down. It smells amazing. Turn up the heat, and then in with some beautiful tin tomatoes. The plum tomatoes are always the better quality. And then fill this up with some water, and in that goes. Now use your spoon to break up those tomatoes. Let that simmer for about 5 to 10 minutes until it's thick and intense and gorgeous. Now what I want to do now is show you how to do the folded pizza. So I'm going to use this tray. I want to oil it up so it doesn't stick. Take our base and take some of this lovely filling. Grab the sides, pinch it, one end, pinch it at the other, and then just kind of let it hang. Any imperfections or tears will cook out. It will be rustic, it will be beautiful. Don't stress. Pinch, pinch. So I've got some lovely mozzarella, and push it right in, and that will just ooze beautiful. A few more bits of basil go in. Put a little bit of oil on the tray. Use a brush just to kind of brush up the outside, just to make it golden and delicious and crispy. Look at that. This is now gonna go in the oven for around about 15 to 20 minutes at full whack. Now what I like to do is put it at the bottom of the oven so the base gets crispy too. Now what we're gonna have with that is a beautiful salad. I dress it with a little bit of lemon juice, some olive oil. Absolutely beautiful. And have a look at that. Oh, come on! So just like bubbling, crisp, I'm really pleased with that. Serve these in the middle of the table. They're amazing hot, they're amazing cold. Look at that, absolutely beautiful. Come on, man. That, my friend, is a thing of joy. My body's saying eat it. My brain's saying don't, it's gonna burn you. It's hot. Oh my God, it's good. Like, some people like a bunch of roses or something. I'd just give me one of those. There you go, darling, I love you. That's what I want. Oh, that's so good. Hi guys, I hope you're all really well. So I'm going to show you a beautiful side dish now. It's a fantastic slow roasted tomato salad with Orzo pasta. It's really fresh, it's really light. This is from my new cookbook, Together. And Together is about togetherness, something that we've all learned about or not about in the last year, since lockdown. So this is all about meals to make new memories. Each chapter is a whole feast, a whole meal. And this dish here, here's the Orzo pasta there. This is a fantastic side dish from a chapter that I absolutely love called Elegant Simplicity. You can cook this as a menu, or you can take individual recipes as they are, because they're really nice recipes. Now, the great thing about the recipes is I've written them in a new style, right? And this style is I write them in a way so you can get ahead of the game, so when your guests arrive, you're not stressing. So, let's do this beautiful salad. Get yourself the ripest tomatoes you can get your hands on. Try and get them on the vine. So, in with the vines and the tomatoes. So this is 1 kilo of tomatoes here. In here, the things that are going to make it delicious are some seasoning, salt and pepper, like that. There's a secret ingredient, some beautiful harissa. And I'm going to put a nice teaspoon of this in here. Now it's not hot, it's very gentle. We're going to go in with a nice little kiss of extra virgin olive oil, a little splash of red wine vinegar, and we're going to use 2 more things. Garlic, so just keep the skins on and just put a bulb in like that. In we go. And then last but not least, I've got some lovely spring onions. Just trim them off both ends, give them a wash, and these go in like that. Mix it all up, and this is like the perfect seasoning. Leave the vine on, right? First tip here, the vine will give you that kind of fragrance of the smell of tomatoes in the greenhouse. So with these tomatoes, they're going to go in the oven for 1 hour. We're going to slow roast them to really concentrate the flavors. So that'll go in the oven at 150 degrees Celsius, which is 300 Fahrenheit. All I've got to do now is cook some pasta. Now, this is Orzo. Let's have a little look at this. Orzo is a shape of pasta. There's 500 grams there, and I'm simply going to put that into some boiling salted water. Now, the packet says cook these for 12 minutes, so I'm going to cook it for 10 minutes, okay? I want it slightly al dente. Now, when that's 5 minutes in, what I'm going to do is get some frozen broad beans. Then I'll refresh them both in a colander under cold water, and I'll show you what to do next. So the pasta been beautifully cooked. I've run it under cold water so it's not cooking anymore, and that'll hold beautifully. With the broad beans, look at the colour. It's such a beautiful bean. And then if you want to, only if you want to, just pinch the skin and squeeze the bean out like that. Do I like eating them like that? Absolutely. They're delicious. But if you can be bothered and if you want to, you can peel them. That bit's done. We've had an hour in the oven here. The room smells absolutely amazing. And look what you get after an hour. It really is something very special. You can see how the tomatoes have just sort of confit almost in themselves. So all I'm going to do now is shake off these little vines like that. We'll take out the spring onions and just put them on a board. And we'll also take out the garlic. So just shake these tomatoes off the stalk like that. I want to push this through a coarse sieve. Reason being is I want to lose the tomato skins, right? Your trusty sieve is very helpful. And we just simply put the tomatoes in there, everything goes in. And then I'll use the spoon just to squash the tomatoes. The juice will flood out. We'll just keep pressing it until it's literally just pips and skin on this side of the coarse sieve. It's gonna be phenomenal. Now back over here, we've got 2 things we want to think about. The garlic here, just squeeze it out of the skins. Fork it up. Then I'm just going to use a knife to slice up the spring onions, and then let's get that into the sauce. So stir in those beautiful roasted spring onions and the lovely creamy garlic. Then I'll go back in with the gorgeous broad beans and the Orzo, and then I'll turn the heat up. Mix it up. When it's cooled down a little bit, add some beautiful fresh herbs. Things like mint, things like basil, dill, fennel. And what I like to do is put most of the herbs in there for flavour, and then save back some for sprinkling on top later. So get those lovely fresh herbs in there, really mix it up beautifully. I love it, the smell is amazing, it really is. A bit of seasoning needed. I'm gonna give it a little kiss of nice cold pressed extra virgin olive oil. Serve on a platter, in bowls, whatever you like. Look at the colours. I'll take some of those herbs and just sprinkle them over the top. A little optional extra here, because this is just going to be a salad today. A tiny bit of feta cheese. There you go. My slow roasted tomato and orzo salad. Let's have a try. It is so fragrant. So there you go, guys, my orzo and tomato salad. I hope you love it as much as I do. I'm going to show you how to make the most beautiful tray-baked pesto pizza pie. It's so good, it's really striking, and it's from my brand new cookbook, 5 ingredients, Mediterranean. I'm super proud of it. 5 ingredients, super simple, but this time, all that inspiration from around the Mediterranean, those beautiful countries. So let me show you how to do it. Here, we've got 500 grams of self-raising flour. I'm going to put a couple of nice pinches of salt. I'm going to give it a little drizzle of olive oil. And then I've got 275 millilitres of cold water that I'm going to put in. I'll use a fork to start off with. And, you know, often when you're making pizza, you know, you've got to make the dough, you've got to prove it. We've got none of that. Make this dough by using the fork just to move stuff around. Slowly, slowly. You can use your other hand. What I don't want you to do is get like really sticky. So just use the tips of your fingers. And then we'll give it a little knead. So as it comes together, you can start being a little bit more aggressive with your hand. And then what I want to do is just knead it, not a lot, just enough to make it smooth and elastic, and ultimately clean the bowl so the washing up is nice and easy. So you've got all this stuff around the edge, right? That'll all get sort of taken off. So look, I've just kneaded that for like a minute and a half, just so it cleans the edge of the bowl like that. So not much washing up to do there. So now just put it on the board. Use 2 hands now, just for a little minute, until you have a nice, elastic, smooth dough like that. Look. Very simple, very easy, and a brilliant cheat dough using self-raising flour. So look, we can put that to one side. So let's talk about flavour. On the bottom of this kind of pizza pie, we're going to have pesto, right? So you can make your own by all means, or you can just buy it, right? Get the best you can. We're going to use mozzarella, which is delicious. This is buffalo mozzarella. These ones are a bit more milky, a bit more tasty, a bit more tangy, but also a little bit wetter. And then here, with these jarred veggies, I'm using artichokes because I think it's a really classic Mediterranean vegetable. I think it's really underloved. And then good old tomatoes. So these are vine tomatoes here. Always tasty when you get them on the vine. You can use any tomatoes you want. I'm just going to get a knife and I'm just going to half some of these tomatoes, and if you want you can quarter some others. So this is 350 grams of cherry tomatoes. What I want to do is season that up to be utterly delicious. And actually I'm going to use my bowl from before because it's so clean. So in we go with the tomatoes. So take the artichokes out of the jar and we'll steal a little bit of that oil. If you have leftover oil here, right, really, really simple. Just grab a bit of mustard, a bit of vinegar, a bit of salt and pepper, right? Don't throw it away. Always have 1 part of vinegar to 3 parts oil, and we'll turn this marinade oil into a lovely dressing, right? Give it a little shake. So that is a nice little bit of marinade or dressing that you can put in the fridge for a rainy day. That'll last. Nice little hacks, nice little ideas. So look, what we're going to do now is just season this with salt and pepper, mix it up, and that's going to roast on top of the pesto. It's going to be great. So let's do the fun bit now. Let's roll out this dough. So I'm going to use my hands to push this dough out. Normally, I'll still need to use a little rolling pin just to roll it out. And if you want to dust it with a little flour, feel free. Just a little flour on top, like that. Put it underneath. Look at that. So, super easy, super quick. All you have to do here is roll this out to the size of a tray. So this is roughly a 35 centimetre by 25 centimetre tray. And I want to roll out this bread dough slightly bigger because I want to do a really nice little twisted sort of crust that's delicious and spongy and crispy to eat. First, what I'm going to do is just lube up the tray just with a little olive oil, just so it helps the bottom get golden and not stick. So we definitely don't want you to have a stick and kind of tear it. So that goes to one side. So just roll this out. So it's about 1 inch bigger than the tray itself. I'll pick this bread dough up like this and just put it down on the tray. I like it having that little overhang on the edge. That's what we want. So just make it fit the tray nicely. We start off with the pesto. So 2 generous tablespoons of the pesto there, and just push that right across the tray. And you can get different pestos as well, so you might want to change up the flavour. So this recipe is open to all of that. And then we've got the tomatoes and the artichokes. I'm just going to scatter those sort of evenly across this tray. You can get beautiful peppers, you can get squash, you can use things like olives, you know, lovely veggies that cook quickly, like asparagus. Really, really nice. So have fun with this. It's a principal recipe. Then at this point, it's super simple. It's not technical in the slightest. I'm going to take up one corner of the pastry and I'm going to fold it over like that. When I fold it over, I'm going to use my thumb just to push down. Then I'm going to put my forefinger here and pull the next bit over and push it down. Simple, right? Like that, like that. So we can spin the tray. Don't stress about this. It's just a bit of fun. It's just a nice little kind of crimped edge. So look, it's already looking pretty beautiful. Use the mozzarella, just tear it like this, right? So you can use any cheese you like that melts nicely. Just tear a little bit off and just dunk it in a little kind of evenly dispersed hole. There's really no rules apart from just roughly be even Stevens. So I've got a little bit of that excess herby oil here from the jarred artichokes, and I'm just going to put a little bit of that over the edges and in and around the beautiful pizza. So look, it's a thing of joy. Now I'm going to cook this in the oven for 30 minutes, and I'm going to put it at the bottom of the oven so the heat has the best chance of making this base nice and semi-crispy. And then we're going to get this golden and crispy on top. Beautiful. So 30 minutes at 200 degrees Celsius, which is around 400 Fahrenheit, and it should be a very beautiful thing. So in it goes. Nice little salad, maybe a little glass of wine, and that is a delicious little meal. So it's had 30 minutes, it's smelling and looking pretty good. Have a look at that. It is just a thing of beauty. It's like a picture. It's weirdly satisfying. If I get my knife under here, it should just slide off, which we like. This is actually, you know, for 4 people. I think that's quite generous. Look at that. Just a nice, juicy slice of our Pesto Pizza Pie. It's really easy. It's really fun to do. I think it's very flexible, depending on what you've got in your fridge or your pantry. Like, you can have some fun with it. It's nice and hot, so I'm gonna have to eat this in a very technical way so I don't burn myself. Look at that. Quite nice for parties, actually, like a little wedge like that, going around, getting people going when they arrive at a little dinner party. Beautiful. So look, I love how the base is actually nice and crispy, but I also love, see how you get that sponginess there, right? We love that. Ooh, hot. Combinations, like crunch, soft, sweet, fragrant, herb, the mozzarella, milky, tangy. Like, it is all the things that we love about a good pizza. If you want to get the recipe, then check out the book. I hope you love it as much as I do. I'm going to show you how to make the most delicious, straightforward pasta bake with sweet leeks, tomatoes, basil, parmesan, and the most amazing garlicky crumb. We're going to do a big batch of it. You could either feed loads of people, or you could portion it off, put it in the fridge or the freezer for meals for another day, but also a hack of turning this, the everyday pre-bought garlic bread, into a thing of joy, the most amazing garlic bread crumb. So let's start off with that. First up, get yourself a liquidizer. We're going to use this for the crumb and for the sauce. So I'm going to cut this into half. Just rip up half your garlic bread into here, give it a little waz. So that simple little trick takes your beautiful garlic bread into a fine breadcrumb. So let's do the second one. Really, really nice. So we've got the lovely crumb here. I'll put that to one side. Let's get on with the pasta sauce. So we're going to start it off with some olive oil in a pan. A couple of tablespoons goes in. And then the beginning of the story is going to be some garlic. 2 cloves of garlic. We'll just slice this up like that. So medium heat, let's get that frying. I'll take a little bit of this basil now. I'll give you another little tip actually. If you pick any herbs, especially if they look a little bit sad, put it in the water, they'll refresh and come back to life. And then these stalks here, you don't have to throw these away. Just finely slice them. They're still full of flavour. And we'll get them in with the garlic. And let's talk about oregano. I've got the regular stuff here that you'll see. Just a little teaspoon I can put in my hand and then put into the oil like that. Then here, I've got some posh oregano. It's not really posh. It looks posh. It's just unprocessed. I always think it's quite nice to get this, if you can. A little bit more fragrant. So you can see it's just gently frying. It smells really fragrant. I've taken it off the heat because I don't want to burn the garlic. Really important to not burn garlic. So look, we've got the leek. So what I tend to do to clean it is just take the end off there, run my knife just down the leek like this, pull off that outside leaf, and then I'm going to kind of treat it like it's almost two different vegetables. So I'll simply cut this in half. I'll save this green part for a soup or a stew that I'm going to do this week. Really, really nice. Nothing will go to waste. And this lovely white part here, I'm going to put into this pasta dish. Now, when leeks grow, they always come out the ground, obviously, and they pick up a little bit of mud, dirt, grit, stuff like that. So let me show you. This is the stalk end. And what I'm going to do is cut it in half lengthwise, like that. And then what you want to do is wash it under the tap away from the stalk. Just a quick little wash. Also, what's nice about giving it a quick little wash is that excess little bit of water creates a little steam that then creates a little more sort of sweetness and softness. So in we go with the leek. I'll give it a little season with salt and pepper, just to start the seasoning story. And that's going to be on a medium heat now. If you just kind of like slow cook that for 10 minutes, it really kind of concentrates the sweetness. It's utterly delicious. So while that does its thing, I'm going to put some pasta into my pan of water. So 500 grams of, frankly, any pasta you like. So when I'm cooking pasta for a pasta bake, I always undercook it. So the pack says 12 minutes, so I'm going to give this 8 minutes. Then I'll show you what to do next. So these leeks have had 10 minutes. The pasta's cooked, drained and refreshed. Now to carry this sauce is a really beautiful old friend, tomatoes. We're going to go in with 3 tins of beautiful tinned tomatoes, and then I'll clean these tins out with some water just to clean out the tin. Use every last bit. Bring this to the boil, let it simmer for 15 minutes, and then you could serve the sauce chunky and rustic, but I'm going to liquidize it until it's silky smooth. So look, that's had sort of 10, 15 minutes. Look at that, just blipping away. Have a little taste. Oh, gorgeous. This is your opportunity to adjust a little seasoning if you need it. If you want to make it a little hotter with black pepper, of course. If you wanted to hit it with chili, you can. I'm going to whiz it up now. I'm going to put most of it in there. So whiz it up. Whenever you're using hot things and liquidizers, put the lid on for sure and put a tea towel on top. I have decorated myself and the room so many times. Having a little look at it. If you want to put some herbs in here now, you can. If you want to put a little cheese in here now, you know, just a little bit, you can. Nice. I think having a liquidizer or a hand blender is a genuinely useful gadget. So in we go with the sauce. You can see the colour change now from the deep red to the almost orange. Sunshine, look at that. Just beautiful. Basically, we're done. We'll go in with the lovely pasta. Look at that. Have a little taste. Oh, delicious. I'm going to do a little layer of Parmesan, about 50 grams, just to kind of create a little kind of gooiness when you put your spoon into it. It's going to be delicious. Beautiful. And I'm actually going to hijack this a little bit with a nice little hack. It's a great vegetable that I love. It sits in the freezer. It's super convenient. Frozen spinach. Why would I use frozen spinach? It's super convenient. It comes in these little portion, sort of normally 80-gram pellets. Just gonna take 8 of these pellets and put it in and around this pan like that. And I think that spinach works really well with these flavors. So look, beautiful colors. Very excited about that. I'm now just gonna finish it with that beautiful garlic bread crumb. I'm gonna take half of it and sprinkle a nice fat layer on top, right to the edges. And that will just cook up really, really nicely. What you can do with the rest of this is get like some of these little freezer bags, and I promise you this will be the handiest thing to have in the freezer. So the next time you roast a piece of fish, right, sprinkle that on top in the oven, crunchy, beautiful. You know, the next time you want to take an everyday salad and make it like exciting, just put that in a pan, get it golden, little golden sort of tiny croutons, crunch, deliciousness. So this is a brilliant thing to have. Next time you make a lasagna, sprinkle that on top. It's the gift that keeps on giving. And no waste. So this now goes in the oven for about 20 minutes at 180 degrees Celsius. When it's golden, when it's blipping away, when it looks like you want to eat it, it's ready. While that's cooking, please click the like button and give us some love. And don't forget to subscribe. Oh, and remember to turn on that notification bell so you know what's happening. Now, back to the recipe. So I know it's ready because I can smell it. The room smells so good. Those amazing garlicky breadcrumbs. So here it is. The beautiful pasta bake. Look at that. It's just beautiful. Let it sit for a little bit. What I would normally do is just put some of these lovely basil leaves over the top. They're in really good condition now they've been in the water. Look at that. It smells incredible. Now for me, I always love having it with a lovely simple salad. So I've got a nice little salad here. I'll just finish that with a little olive oil, little squeeze of lemon juice, and that is an incredible lunch. That's an incredible dinner. Look at that. I just love it. Yes. So look, let's serve up. Let's get a nice piece of that spinach. Beautiful. Really lovely. Look at that. Little parmesan over the top. Right, let's have a little try. It's amazing colour. It's so good. That, my friends, is a brilliant principle recipe. Take that, run with it. Put it into your family. Honestly, they're gonna love it. So look, if you want more recipes from me, you know, more batch cooking recipes, more recipes that sort of hero veggies, simply go to jamieoliver.com and have a little search around. It's all free and I hope you enjoy it. On the takeaway menu today is an American hot Chicago pizza pie. Right, let's get cracking on the base. We've got yeast. Get it in the sachets. They're always 7 grams into some water. Now that's 600 millilitres of tepid water. That's gonna wake up the dried yeast. For 4 pizzas, add 1 kilo of strong flour and a nice pinch of salt. Then in with 600 mils of yeasty water. This is gonna do all the hard work for you. There is no right or wrong way to knead. You're just moving it about, push it forward, push it back, stretch it, stretch it. Doing big batches is a great money-saving tip. You can always freeze what you don't need right now, and having a stash will help stop the urge to shell out on all those pricey takeaways. Leave the dough to prove, which means to rise, in a covered bowl for an hour. That is what yeast does. So what we do after an hour is we bash it back down. We now have a dough that's kind of developed in flavour. It's just phenomenal. I love it. The feel of it. Air in there. Gorgeous. So all I'm doing now is I'm just folding it under itself. I want to bring back the pizza pie, okay? Rub a little oil into the tins and scatter over some dry breadcrumbs for a little extra crunch on the base. This dough is just beautiful. I'm just going to pull it. You don't have to roll it. And I'm going to go into that tin like that. Leave the base to prove again for 15 to 20 minutes. Now for a really cheap, super quick tomato sauce. It's just 1 tin of tomatoes, 2 cloves of garlic, salt and a little dried oregano. Whiz it up. For a bit of heat, nick a little vinegar from some jarred pickled jalapenos. Friends, the sauce is done. The toppings are up to you. I'm going to use 2 good quality sausages per pizza.
plus a few chopped jalapenos to make this American hot even hotter.
So actually, I think cheddar is a wonderful melter. It really is. Little bombs of cheddar in and around that sausage.
One finely sliced red onion, smashed up fennel seeds, and a good pinch of smoked paprika will really bring out the flavours.
Absolutely gorgeous.
Whack them into the oven for 20 minutes at 190. And when they're cooked, they'll look a bit like this.
Oh yes. Thick, chunky. That's what I'm talking about.
I admit, buying a takeaway pizza does have its perks, but they don't come cheap.
This is 6 times cheaper than that. Girls, come and have a check of this. Grab away.
Oh, thank you so much.
Bring back the Chicago pizza pie. Crew, I think it's time for a little bit of pizza. Come on! I'm going to show you how to make the most delicious Greek Cypriot-inspired pasta. It's so good. It's really quick. It's a £1 wonder, and it's a recipe from my new cookbook, 5 Ingredients Mediterranean. This is simple, 5 ingredients obviously, but all of that energy from the Mediterranean, the colours, the flavours, one of the best cuisines in the world. And of course, there's so many countries. Now, one of them is Cyprus. I used to go there as a kid. One of my good friends, Georgie Hayden, gave me the inspiration for this dish because she comes from Cyprus. So one of the things in this book that I really love is the non-Italian pasta dishes, which I know sounds really weird, but without getting into too many arguments, the Mediterranean has had pasta for thousands of years. This is orzo, so it looks a little bit like rice, but it's not rice, right? It's very small pasta. You can get it really easily now in supermarkets. Not all of them, but it's definitely out there. So we're gonna use this pasta. I'm also gonna give you a hack to sort of fake this pasta if you can't find it, right, with spaghetti. I'll show you that in a minute. So we've got pasta, garlic, we've got parsley here, which you could swap out for any herb you like, marjoram, thyme, basil. We've got the halloumi here, which all my kids love at home. Really, really nice, sort of squeaky and fresh and salty. Then we've got some tomatoes here that have been on the windowsill, nice and ripe. Let's get cooking. So like I said, it's a £1 wonder, so get yourself a nice wide casserole style pan. We'll whack that onto a medium heat to start off with. And first job actually is a little preparation on fresh pasta. Now first up, you can use tinned tomatoes straight away. 2 tins of tomato would be beautiful, but I think what you get when they're on the vine like this, they don't just taste good, they smell good as well. So what I'm gonna do is get some nice ripe tomatoes. I've got 600 grams of tomatoes here, just cut them in half like this. This is a little hack for making a very simple, delicious sauce instead of using tinned tomatoes, which is also delicious. It's using a standard box grater like this. And what I do is go on the fine side, not that side, this one here, right, that you'd grate cheese on. Take the half of the tomato and just gently rub it, and don't cut yourself, right, just gently. Now if you see, down the bottom, you're gonna see pulp and juice coming out, and on the top, you're gonna see a separation of the seeds and the skin. The freshness is another level, right? So look at that, right? No seeds, seeds. So that's the technique. So I'm gonna do that to all of this. Let's have a little clean down. So the tomato sauce is done. This pan is getting nice and warm. I'm gonna put a couple of tablespoons of olive oil into a pan, and I've got 2 cloves of garlic. So this is a really simple pasta sauce. But the technique starts to get really interesting because we're not going to boil the pasta. We're going to cook the pasta in the sauce. Get your garlic in there. You don't want to cook the garlic too quickly. At this point, I've got half a bunch of fresh parsley. It could be basil, it could be oregano, it really doesn't matter. I'm going to finely slice the stalks, which are really sweet and delicious. Don't waste those. And as that garlic just starts to colour, I'm going to put in the stalks of the parsley. If you wanted to make this spicy, you could, but that will be a 6th ingredient. So 5 ingredients, I'm keeping it simple, keeping it fresh. I'm now going to go in with the beautiful fresh tomatoes. Look at that, look at the colour. So now I'm going to turn the heat up and just bring this to the boil. And what I'm going to do is put some water in here to roughly the same volume as you had the grated tomatoes. So in we go in with the water. And what you want to do is bring that to the boil. So I'm going to finely slice the parsley using the cross-chop method, so fingers flat at the end, and just keep going round until it's nice and fine. So here, we've got 200 grams of the Orzo, right? So you can see, if you look closely, it looks like rice, but it really isn't. It's got more angular sort of cuts on it. But if you can't find it, I want to give you a little hack, right? Because you'll get a very, very similar effect. Get a tea towel, get some spaghetti, and just steal a little bit, like that, okay? Roll up the pasta, like this, and very simply, take it and just run it off the side of a surface, like that, okay? And then what you get is your own homemade fake Orzo, okay? So it's a nice little tip. Let me just mop that up. So look, not a bad little fake, right? But even though it's, you know, also it might feel posh, it's just flour and water, right? Now, as soon as this has come to the boil, let's let it rain also. Give it a little stir. I think it's important to give it a light seasoning now, so it cooks into the pasta, like that. So some salt. Go in with some pepper. So you can see this is boiling nicely, and I want to cook that on a medium, sort of gentle simmer, right? Not too fast, not too slow, with a lid on, stirring regularly for about 12 to 14 minutes until it's nice and tender. And then I'll show you how to season it, finish it with the halloumi, and also adjust the texture. It smells good.
While that's cooking, please click the like button and give us some love. And don't forget to subscribe. Oh, and remember to turn on that notification bell so you know what's happening. Now, back to the recipe.
So this has been cooking now for about 11 minutes. Look how the pasta's absorbed the sauce. Really beautiful. And there's so many things you could do with this. You could put tuna through it, you could put olives through it, more herbs through it, different cheeses through it. You could, you know, use different vegetables, chopped up jarred peppers. So this is a beautiful principal recipe, but this one, simple and gorgeous, 5 ingredients. So the fun bit is now. Let's just try a little bit of Orzo. Beautiful. I'm going to turn the heat off. Remember, if it's a little bit wet now, that's perfect, because it's going to carry on sucking up the beautiful moisture. I'm going to go in with this lovely chopped parsley. And now, the real twist in the tale. Like when I tried this for the first time, it really blew my mind. So I've always bought halloumi, the family love it. I've fried it, I grilled it, but never in pastas, and it is amazing. So about 40 grams you use just to put through it, and then just a little bit on it, and it just melts in the most incredible way. So I guess when you grill it or fry it, it's a bit bouncy and a little bit squeaky and delicious. But when you grate it like this, it oozes into the pasta, but kind of holds its shape a little bit. So look at the colour, it's really, really nice. You might want to adjust with just a little bit of water, you know, just to let it down. You want it to be loose and you want it to be elegant, really important, not dry and not claggy. Just stir that through. Look at that ooze. If you've got some nice extra virgin olive oil, just kind of stir a little bit of that through it, just to give it that beautiful shine. So let's have a little go here. Look at that texture. Imagine doing that for your friends and family. If they love like a classic tomato pasta, this is like that, but fresher, more surprising. The halloumi has got that lovely salty tang that's so good. If you wanted to hit it with a little chili, of course you can. But look at that. Beautiful. Just finish it with a little olive oil, like that. Hot and steamy. I'm just going to finish it now with just a few bits of parsley, just to tell the story, what's going on. You can change up the herbs if you want. I'm going to go to the fine side of the grater and just do nice long strokes of halloumi. And then the only thing you've got to do is find a fork and tuck in. Look at that. Beautiful. It's so good, so simple. It's one of those recipes that you could do time and time again. I think there's a nice technique in there with box gratering those fresh tomatoes. So nice. 5 ingredients, simple, delicious, comfort food. And that is one of the recipes from my brand new cookbook. 5 ingredients, Mediterranean. Please have a look, just pick it up, flick through it and see what you think. I hope, I know you're gonna love it. Take care.